friends, my name is Lindsay. Welcome back to my channel. Please make yourself a cup for something that's going to be very fascinating. This is a series on my channel that I haven't done in quite a while. I think probably since like beginning of the year when I talked about In the Heights. But it's a series that I love to do and I want to keep doing it. And I'm going to keep doing it right now because a user by the name of, I think it's Leah? That could be an I at the beginning, so it could be I suggested that I summarize Les Mis for Dummies. I am thrilled by this suggestion and I think I could be a great amount of help because here's why. I've read the book, seen the movie, done 2 teen productions of it, and I don't know why it's the teen edition because there's literally nothing cut from it. Maybe a scene or 2, but that's about it. That's the tea. I've also seen multiple productions of it multiple times, so I'm pretty well versed in the plot, or I like to think that I am. But let me also reiterate that I am very dumb. The only reason I know the plot details of this show is because I have seen it multiple times. If I had just seen it maybe twice, it would be a very different video. So today I'm going to summarize the plot of Les Mis for Dummies for you all. I've also worn my Les Mis shirt for the occasion. But before we go any further, if we haven't met already, my name is Lindsay. I make videos about pop culture with an emphasis on Broadway. So if that's your thing, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell to be notified every time I make a brand new video. Alright, summary of Les Mis begins now. So the show starts out with Jean Valjean, this man. He's in prison for stealing a loaf of bread for his sister and he's been there for 19 years. Well, 19 years, originally like 5 years, but then it was like another, what's the math? 14? 14. Another 14 years because he like kept trying to escape. Did he really deserve those 5 years in prison for stealing a loaf of bread? Prison. 5 years for bread? I don't know. But I really think you'll find out later, but this musical is woke AF. It's about class. Corrupt prison system. I just spit on the camera. Whoopsie. So he's released from jail, but Javert, the prison guard over there, he's like being released on parole and you have to show this piece of paper anytime you have to do literally anything to be a functioning human being because you have to let people know that you are on parole. You know, like, yeah, I don't have to explain it. Like 19th century Law and Order. So because he used to be incarcerated, he's having trouble finding a place to live, places to eat and work and blah blah blah. Again, woke. Corrupt prison system. Fix it. But then this one church is like, hey, we're actually good people. We actually read the Bible. You can stay here and eat and all that good stuff. So Jean Valjean, in a situation where he's being treated so well, just can't control himself and he decides to steal silver? He's caught by the police and they take him to the bishop of the church and then the bishop, he goes, oh no, I gave him that as a gift and also, hey, you brought these candlesticks. He totally lied. Then he goes to Valjean and he's like, hey buddy, I want you to use this experience as a second chance to become a better person and become like a godlier person. Look, I'm Christian, and I was like raised Christian and yada yada, and God would probably forgive him, but then what would also definitely go, sir? Valjean, he has an epiphany and he's like, I should probably not do this anymore because I don't want to go back to jail because this guy scares me. So and then he tears up the piece of paper that he's legally supposed to show that he was on parole. So he vows to be a better person and then breaks the law again within one breath. So then later, Valjean has a glow up and now he runs a factory. So that includes a factory worker named Fantine and a factory foreman goes up to her, tries to like get all frisky with her, but then she like denies it. And so to get back at her, he then decides to like abuse all the other women in the factory and then the women get mad at her for some reason. So the foreman is a person who directly like oversees the factory floor while the factory owner deals with like the business side of things. So one of the factory workers gets so upset, she decides to like take it up a notch. He steals a letter from Fantine, basically details that she has a kid that no one knows about. And then this person goes, hey everyone, she has a kid. And then she gets fired for providing for a child? I don't know, man. So she's sad and she has basically no choice but to like become a prostitute. So it becomes so bad that she ends up fighting back against like this abusive customer and he's being like all grubby and like taking advantage of her. Javert, who's now, he works for the police. He, you know, arrives at the scene and he's like, Fantine! You would think, oh, hey, maybe he'll arrest the abusive customer. No, he arrests Fantine instead. Isn't that so fun? But then, by chance, Valjean notices Fantine and notices her being all like, you know, she's had a rough patch. She's having a rough time. And he knows that she used to work at the factory and then he like sees it and he's like, oh my gosh, you're a prostitute? Who knew that when you were no longer working at the factory, you would be in such poor condition? And yeah, dude, times are tough because you messed up, kind of. I know you didn't can directly fire her, but you also own the factory. So Valjean, he like created a new life for himself, became almost unrecognizable to like anybody else who used to know him in like his former years. Both Javert and Valjean were at the scene, but Javert did not recognize Valjean because he glowed up so hard. So Javert didn't recognize him until then there was another time where Valjean, he rescues somebody who's like pinned under a runaway car, which is like basically a gigantic wheelbarrow. And then Javert, he like sees this happening and he's like, this looks sus. That guy, I have a feeling that guy is Valjean because he's strong. That's right. That's what tipped him off, which I don't know why strength is like a unique trait, but okay, Javert, go off. So then it's revealed that there is a Valjean doppelganger who got arrested because the police thought he was Valjean. They thought he was the same guy who violated his parole, and so this guy is being put on trial. But then Valjean, because he glowed up physically and emotionally, he goes to this trial and he admits his real identity to save this poor innocent person who also looked like Valjean. But then you like see this happening and you're like, oh, Valjean, look, character development. Look, he's actually taking responsibility. Nope. And he runs away from the scene. He somehow escapes custody to go visit Fantine in her last moments on Earth. He's like, hey, I heard you have a kid. I know I did nothing to help protect you when you got fired from my factory, but okay. He goes, I will take care of this child that I have never heard of in my life. And then Fantine dies. So Javert barges into Fantine's hospital room and he goes, sir, you violated parole. Get over here. Valjean is like, bro, I'm a changed man. I run a factory and I offer employment to people who need it. Javert is also like, but like, you should be held accountable for your past actions. Remember, these past actions that he's talking about were for stealing a loaf of bread, which like at the most maybe should have been just like community service, but no, he got thrown in prison gang doing hard labor for 5 years. So Valjean escapes, randomly runs into the woods and like finds this little girl who happens to be Cosette, Fantine's daughter. She's like getting water for the Thénardiers. How? I don't know. What a coincidence. What a crazy random happenstance. So he brings Cosette back to the inn and it's boisterous and loud and the Thénardiers are like ripping off their customers as per usual. So Valjean, he like sees all this happening and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna take this child. The Thénardiers are like, no, don't do it. We love Colette. Valjean is like, yeah, I'm gonna take this child. So he pays them so that he could take Cosette back to Paris. So fast forward like 10-ish years. There's a lot of stuff that happened. The Thénardiers have lost their inn, and so they did the next logical step and they formed a gang. Their daughter Eponine is grown and falls for Marius, who friend zones her because he meets Cosette, who had a glow up. Look at her. And he falls in love with her. Like, I can see why Marius would fall in love with her because she's rich and pretty, but Marius, listen, she's also a soprano. Eponine is a belter. Need I say more? At the same time, there's also Gavroche, and like no one really knows where his parents are. He like roams the streets, eavesdrops on everything, and he like inserts him into every situation because he feels like it. Javert is now an inspector and just so happens to live in Paris at the same time as Valjean. I mean, again, crazy random happenstance. So the Thénardiers try to rip off Cosette, but then they fail, and Cosette and Valjean run away, and then the Thénardiers, they like go up to Javert and they're like, hey, we almost got ripped off by this person. And Javert, for some reason, just based on this tip alone, he goes, that's the man that violated the parole. That's the man I've been looking for 10 years because apparently I have nothing else better to do. Then he vows he's going to hold Valjean accountable for, again, stealing a loaf of bread that somehow required like 5 years of prison time and hard labor, but what do I know? Javert, sweetie, it's time to move on. So Enjolras and Marius, they're at a cafe with their friends. So they're having a good time, having a great time. Gavroche butts in and he's like, hey, you know that one government guy, General Lamarck? You know, it's like that one guy who like, he's like the only guy in the government who's like nice to poor people. Well, guess what? He died. So, well, he was executed by his government pals because he was being nice to the poor. And the students get all riled up. They're like, that's it. That's the last straw. We are going to start a revolution and get back at the government. So meanwhile, Marius and Cosette, they like meet up at Cosette's house at the garden and they like profess their love for each other. This is all while Eponine watches. Metaphorically, she's watching from the friend zone, but physically she's watching from like right outside the gate. Eponine, oh, poor thing. So as this is happening, Javert finds out where Valjean lives and he goes and he's like about to like lead an attack on Valjean and Cosette this entire house, but Eponine sees him coming and she's like, I don't think so, hold it right there, mister. And then somehow like scares them off. I don't really know why she was trying to protect Cosette because then she could steal her man, but okay, Eponine, I guess she has a moral compass and that's great. So Valjean, he like sees it like they almost just got attacked and he's like, He was like, Cosette, I am done with this BS. Say goodbye to France, say goodbye to baguettes and croissants. We're leaving. So while they're fleeing France, the students start the French Revolution. Javert plans to ruin their plan, and the Thénardiers plan to profit off of all of it. Tag yourselves, I'm the Thénardiers. Alright, Act 2. This video is so long, guys. So the students are getting ready to fight, but at the same time, Javert in a disguise. And when I say disguise, just think like a mustache. Cause like, you know, when you see him on stage, like, you know what he's about to do. It's clear it's Javert. So he volunteers to spy on the government troops and then report back to the students to keep them safe. And then Marius finds out that Eponine is disguised as a boy so that she can fight in the French Revolution. She was Mulan before Mulan. Marius, and he's like, hey, so instead of fighting, you can really help me out by... Eponine is like, yes. He's like, you can really help me out by sending this letter to Cosette in case I die. It's a farewell letter. Let her know that I really love her and I will love her until death, after death, while I'm in heaven, wherever I end up. Yeah, you get it. Eponine goes, I guess. So then this fails because Valjean gets the letter, and then that's when he finds out that Cosette and Marius are in love. And I don't know why he's just now finding this out, because the boy was just at his house. So then the students are like they're getting ready to fight, and Javert comes back still in his, you know, big old mustache. Let's picture a mustache. And he comes back and he's like, great news, the government will not attack you just yet. And Gavroche pretends he's in Scooby-Doo, and he like exposes Javert in his disguise, just like, I just want to picture him like ripping off his big old mustache and be like, liar, you're a crook. So the government starts attacking them like almost immediately. So the students are fighting. Eponine comes back. She's like, oh, what did I miss? So not only is she in the friend zone, but she gets shot by a government soldier. So in her last breaths, Eponine is like, YOLO. And she confesses her love to Marius. She's like, always been in love with you, even though I know Cosette, even though Cosette is like clearly in love with you, I still have feelings for you. Peace. And she dies. So the students continue to fight, and then Valjean, in an attempt to protect Marius so Cosette can have like one good thing in her life after Valjean dies. So he shows up in a disguise, and I think like a bigger mustache. Like, you still know it's him, but like it's not a great disguise. Let's just say that. So at one point, Valjean notices that Javert is in custody. He was put in custody by the students because he lied. I mean, that's what you get, sir. So Valjean asks Enjolras, hey, can I deal with Javert in custody? Enjolras is like, go for it. But instead of executing Javert, he frees Javert because he's changed as a person. So then instead of Javert thanking Valjean for doing something that, like, I would say no one else would do. I think it's a pretty fair assumption. Instead of like asking for forgiveness and whatnot, Javert vows to put Valjean in jail. Dude, Javert, you're so extra. We get it. You work for the government and also the police. So the students rest for the night, and like in every production that like I've done and or seen, students always go right to sleep, which I don't know why, because I feel like if I've been like battling all day, I feel like I'd be so hopped up on adrenaline and anxiety that I wouldn't sleep, but I digress. So while everyone is sleeping, Valjean, he's like, please God protect Marius, because Marius seems like a good fellow. I've only known him for like a day, but I mean, he seems nice, and I mean, he looks like he'd be like a really good protector for Cosette. I mean, if you have to like take me out so that Marius can live and protect Cosette, I'm okay with that. So the next day there's fighting. Gavroche is a little too eager, and he decides to like go sneak over to like the government side of the barricade and try to steal ammunition from dead bodies. While that is happening, he gets shot, he dies, and honestly, who's shocked? Then the fighting continues, and everyone dies except for Valjean and Marius, and so Marius is like super wounded, and Valjean, he carries Marius through the city to try to get him to a hospital. Javert also sees this happening, and like, I mean, I don't know if he notices that Marius is hurt, but he decides to chase down Valjean because the one thing that's the most important in the story, make sure there's justice served for the bread stolen. I don't know, man. So they sneak down to the sewers, and they also find Thénardier, who is like trying to loot as many dead bodies as he can because he likes to stay on brand. So Valjean and Marius get to the exit, and Javert is sitting waiting for them, and he's like, so Valjean is like, okay, please just give me like one more hour. Look, this man, look, he's bleeding. We need to get him to a hospital. I don't want to be responsible for this guy's death. Come on, please. Javert is like, fine. So then Valjean leaves. Javert has an epiphany for some reason because he's trying to follow the law, like also be a good person, but for some reason that's just like not, he can't figure out how to do that. So what's the next logical step? He throws himself into a river, and that is the end of Javert. Yeah. So everyone's sad that the students are dead. Cosette comforts Marius, and he's really bummed about his friends being dead, but then Valjean, he like steps in and he's like, hey Marius, I trust you. I have only known you for like maybe 2 days, but I can see you're going to protect Cosette with all of your being and all of your might. So if y'all want to get married, go ahead and get married. And so then they did. So then the wedding happens, and there's a wedding reception, and the Thénardiers crash it. And then they go to Marius, and they're like, young man, we know you just got married, which is why we have to tell you that your new father-in-law is a murderer. Here's a look at this ring that, you know, not to brag, but we stole off of a dead body that he was carrying. It's like, you know, evidence. And Marius gets super upset. Marius is like, excuse me, that is my ring. You stole it from me. You stole it off of me while I was dying. dying, even if I was dead or alive, it doesn't really matter, that's still pretty messed up. But then he realizes, oh, that means Valjean saved me. Not only did he bless the marriage, but he also saved me, because we should go find him. So they go find him, and you may be wondering, why is this guy not at his daughter's wedding? And I have a reason for that, and that's because he is on his deathbed. Yep. That's right, this is Les Mis, and that's where anything can happen. Including death. Death can definitely happen. So Marius and Cosette, they get to Valjean's deathbed, and Valjean gives Cosette a letter that basically is like, hey, look, so this is what your childhood was like. You probably don't know this, but your mom gave you to a couple of thieves because she couldn't take care of you herself because this class's economy did not work in her favor. So then Valjean, he feels at peace knowing that Cosette has someone to take care of her, and he's rejoined by everyone in heaven, and he's been forgiven of all his sins. The end. I hope y'all enjoyed that video. That was very long, so if you stuck around to the end, I really appreciate you. Thank you for watching this video. If you haven't already, please make sure to hit the like button and share with all of your Les Mis loving friends, and be sure to comment, are there any shows that you want me to summarize next? This one was a beast, but I feel like I am up to, you know, tackle even more shows, so let me know in the comments down below what you want me to do. If you're just now meeting me, hello, hi, and if you want to see more of my face, be sure to subscribe to me and hit the notification bell to be notified every time I make a brand new video. I make videos every Wednesday. You can find me on my social media down below, and I will see you all next time. Bye!